What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. For those of you that may not have seen, I made a video about how I had some serious concerns regarding Super Mario Bros. Wonder after watching the Nintendo Direct earlier this year. I thought the talking flowers were weird. I thought the elephant suit was kind of unnecessary. And I felt like everything about the game was just like trying to push the limits of weirdness just to sell copies of games. I didn't really see the functionality in any of it. And then I saw the reviews come out from the professional review sources, and I was like, oh wow, okay. This game is legit better than I had expected. I'm now looking forward to it. And now that the game is finally out to the public and we're able to go out and buy it ourselves, I went to Best Buy, picked up my pre-order, brought it home. My son came home from school, we started playing the game, and we were blown away. It's really good. Smash JT. I've had a ton of people hit me up on Twitter specifically about this game, and the only reason I can conclude is because I made that video saying I'm concerned about it, and people were genuinely interested in my thoughts going forward after playing this game myself. And I popped it in, played it with my son and my daughter. We all played together, and it was a magical experience. And I mean that. It felt like something that only Nintendo could accomplish. The graphics are insanely good for a 7-plus-year-old tech like the Nintendo Switch is. It feels like a brand new modern day AAA title, well worth the entry price of $59.99 USD. But that's only the beginning of this game. The graphics, great, but let's put that aside. The gameplay, it's everything you always expected from every single Mario game ever made. The jumping, the button pressing, the running, everything is exactly on point for a platformer, which by far and away is the most important part of any platformer. But then you enter the Wonder Flowers, the new suits you can get, the new ways you can play through the game, the cooperative play, how people can play off of each other, and how Nintendo subtly put in a feature of the crown on somebody's head that controls where the screen goes, so you know exactly who's in charge, you know who's you're following, you know how the game's going to run, you're not bopping in or falling off the screen, you know exactly how it's moving forward. And the crown is, as far as I can tell, given to the person at the end of the level that gets highest on the flag, or the one that picks up the most recent Wonder Seed, or a few other ways to get that crown. But playing multiplayer with the crown is kind of a game within the game itself. The storyline is very generic, but I don't play Mario games for storyline. I don't know many people that do, but it's new and fresh enough to bring a new appeal to the series and make you want to dive into this new world. The badge system is impeccably great, which was my biggest concern going into this game. I personally was frustrated that the characters all controlled the same. I felt like that was a big swing and a miss for Nintendo, but after playing the game and realizing the badge system allows your character to do different things depending on which badge you're wearing going into the level, it gives a unique feeling to the level every single time you play it, and you can make it feel very different based off the badge that you choose. There was one particular moment where my son and I were doing the wall jump badge challenge, and there's one level where the moving platforms are spinning around and you're trying to get to the top without falling down, and if someone dies in the game, they can be resuscitated if they float over and touch the person who's still alive. And we had this back and forth trying to climb, and we both kept falling and dying, but the other one would save us over and over again. It was such a surreal experience. My son and I, we were screaming, we were laughing, we were crying. Like, it was so much fun, the interaction we were having with each other just by trying to climb this little level out of this huge, massive game. It was just one little part that stood out. We were like, if this little level can bring that much fun, how much fun does the rest of the game bring? And it hasn't let us down yet. As far as the reviewers that were comparing this game to my favorite Mario game ever, Super Mario World, how Super Mario Bros. Wonder stacks up against it, so far so good. I can see why they were saying that, and I've only scratched the surface with the game. I've put probably, 3, 4, 5 hours into it. It went by very quickly as we were playing it yesterday. It's a ton of fun. I got pretty much to the end of the pink cloud level area, and I can't wait to get back to it. As far as the secrets, the different level, the different paths you can go, it's similar to Super Mario World in that aspect. And if I can remove the nostalgia from loving Super Mario World as much as I do, then yeah, I guess Super Mario Wonder is a better game than Super Mario World, but that nostalgia factor is pretty strong, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. When you add in your childhood memories and all the nostalgia, all the memories, everything that happened and transpired in your life when that game came out, and then you try to compare a new game that just came out to that, it's not a fair fight. But if you hold Super Mario Wonder on its own, yeah, it's a fantastic experience worthy of Game of the Year material, which is something I never expected to say for a modern day 2D Mario, but here we are. I still think Tears of the Kingdom is the #1 Game of the Year contender for me, personally at least, but Mario Wonder isn't too far behind. If anything, I'd say it's above Pikmin 4, which is really big words because I'm a huge Pikmin fan, and putting Mario Wonder above that says a lot. I think part of the problem with how I approach Mario Wonder is, especially with my son, we're just blowing through the levels, we're having a blast doing it, but we're not really savoring it. We're not enjoying the experience, and I'm looking at the levels as we're flying through them, realizing there's so much more depth to this game. The replayability aspect is second to none. It's one of those games that you can go back and replay over and over and find new things every single time you play it for years to come. One of my other main concerns with this game was that it was going to be way too easy, and by default, Nintendo gives you the option to select 2 different characters that are invincible, Nabbit and Yoshi, where I was like, that's kind of dumb. They just let you play as these characters that can't get hurt, but it's not as dumb as I originally thought because those characters can't really get power-ups, can't do anything special, and it's kind of boring playing as them. So even though my son loves Nabbit and wanted to play as him, as soon as he found out that he was invincible, he was loving that aspect of it, but that he couldn't become an elephant, he was like, now I want to play the other characters so that I can do this other stuff and experience the level the way it was meant to be played. So yes, Nintendo gives you that handicap for the young kids that just want to play the game and not really know what's going on. But as far as everyone else is concerned, if you're 8 like my daughter or 10 like my son or older than that, all the other characters are far more interesting and exciting to play as. A part of me thought that Super Mario Wonder was just going to be a generic swan song for the Nintendo Switch, sending it off to pasture as the Nintendo Switch 2 prepares for launching in 2024 at some point. But this game is far more than that. It's not just let's make a generic Mario game to sell some copies of a game before our new system comes out. It feels like everything has culminated into this masterpiece from Nintendo to make the best possible experience they could for everyone to enjoy before moving on to whatever comes next. So yeah, I guess you could say Super Mario Wonder surprised me in every good way possible. And I'm only, like I said, maybe a quarter of the way through the game, maybe even less than that if you consider trying to 100% it. There's so much to do, so much to see, so many new areas and worlds to explore that I'm really looking forward to finding out what I haven't seen yet. That's what this game does better than most, is keeps you guessing. You never know what's happening, you never know what's coming next, and you never know what the Wonder Flower is going to change the world into, and this dynamic that shifts it into, maybe it's a fun level, maybe it makes it far more challenging, maybe it makes it completely different from any kind of experience you've ever played before in a video game. You never know, and that's the best part of Super Mario Bros. Wonder so far, as far as the game goes at least. Now, as far as the best part of Super Mario Wonder in my personal feeling, it's my family playing the game together, experiencing the joy and happiness of video games, bringing us together, laughing, crying, screaming, shouting at each other, having a blast. That's what it's all about, and Nintendo brought Nintendo's magic once again to this title. I'm going to leave it there, but before I go, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Super Mario Wonder, if you played it, or if you plan on picking it up. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
I can do it!
What the heck? You gotta land on the platform, dude. Alright, here we go. You got it. Go. There you go. Alright, now wait for it to come back. No, no! Oh, God! Dead.
Smash, change,